Hello and welcome along to Leeds United latest here on the West Yorkshire Football Show. Just myself, Stephen Brown today. Jay is currently sunning himself in Cyprus, so we won't be able to get his thoughts on yesterday's game, although judging by the videos that he sent into the WhatsApp group, it would be very interesting if we played those out. I'd love to do it, but I think they would shut us down, unfortunately. So yeah, no Jason Booker today, getting a well-deserved holiday, but he and I will be doing shows at some point. We're in a bit of a mix and match kind of time. I'm going away soon. He's away at the moment. So it's going to be as and when for a little bit. But yeah, Jason's away at the moment. If you're watching along, please do get your comments in. Get your likes on the video. Please also subscribe to the channel. Going to be live for a bit, see kind of what discussions we get into, but want to start obviously with the Brighton game yesterday. Didn't upload a review yesterday, but just my general take on it, and really not a lot to say about it. Very end of season feel, but it was absolutely lovely to rob it at the end, wasn't it, really? I didn't see it coming. I didn't see us snatching that win at all. Obviously, we were a patched up team. We've got so many absentees. I couldn't believe Ethan Ampadu was starting. It was rumoured that he was going to be out as well. Apparently he'd had an illness, but obviously captain fantastic, and he makes himself available, and it was a good performance from him again. So yeah, a bit of a patched up team. We saw Dan James back at right wing back following the Spurs game, but Brighton were clearly the better team in terms of creating chances and general play, although I don't really feel that they dominated necessarily. I didn't get the sense there was a real urgency to their play yesterday, despite the fact that they're still in the hunt potentially for Champions League at that point. I think it's out of their reach now, but they could have still been in for a shout with that going into the last game of the season if they'd have beaten us. So yeah, it was kind of a game we just stayed in. Second half, those Brighton cutbacks that they were doing, it was a nightmare. I was kind of, watching like that at points. I thought they were going to bury one of them, but they didn't. And then we managed to steal the win at the end. A fantastic bit of fighting from Dominic Calvert-Lewin. This is a guy who we were worried about his fitness when we signed him, and he's still pounding the turf in the 95th minute or whatever it was to close down the keeper, nick the ball, and then a really calm and composed finish. He's also ruined his heat map, hasn't he, of where he scored goals from. That was a little bit further out this time, so breaking new territory there as well. What a season he's having, and I want to talk a little bit more about Dominic Calvert-Lewin in a bit as well. Just some of the other performances from the Brighton game to highlight. I thought I thought Rodon and Biol were absolutely superb. Biol threw himself in front of everything, absolutely everything. And I was watching some old content when we signed Biol just to see what we thought at the time, what we thought we were getting, and it's pretty much played out exactly how it is. Superb defender. His reading of the game, he's like bit of an old school defender, but he can also play a bit as well. So just a superb signing he's been. I thought it was absolutely fantastic yesterday. Rodon, it's Rodon. He plays like we were in a relegation battle. He was playing like we needed to win that game. That's how he just plays. That's his default setting. So yeah, brilliant performance from Joe as well. Dan James, right wing back again. It's tricky with James, isn't it, a little bit? I'm not sure what we're going to do there. He obviously signed a long-term contract last summer. I don't necessarily know if there'd be any takers for him. I don't know where or what that would look like. He had a few moments yesterday when he got into some good positions, but that final ball just not quite there. It's difficult. I can appreciate when you've not played much, you've had an injury ravaged season, you're coming in, you're trying to make an impact, but it didn't really happen for him. But I don't know what we do in terms of Dan James going forward. Like I say, long-term contract he signed last summer. Who realistically will be takers for Dan James? I'm not so sure. And there's a few in that position as well. You look at Peru. Where's the market for these players? I'm not so sure. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, though, I do want to mention him as well. And I mean, what a signing he has been. 14 goals this season. There's a really good article on The Athletic by Beren Cross, which is detailing the process of how we managed to actually sign Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and it's fascinating, actually, the lengths that we went to. I think we had an initial chat with him in April when we got promoted, and it kind of didn't really happen at that point. Obviously, Calvert-Lewin weighing things up. And then later on in the summer, around August time, we got a sniff that actually there could be something there. And then they had meetings with him and his missus, and were able to convince him to sign for the football club. And when you look at it, probably the difference between staying up and getting relegated, DCL. We've had amazing impact from other players this season, other signings, Gudmundsson, Stack. I mean, we all love Stack. What a fantastic season Stack's had. But our record without Stack in the team is not too shabby. You know, we've still managed to pick up points and win games. But I think if you take DCL out of this team, I don't see how it survives, really. He's been absolutely magnificent. And long may it continue. You know, big topic of discussion. Obviously, we tried to sign Strand Larsen in January. It was, do we get another striker? Do we get another starting striker? I'm kind of at the point now where I think DCL is our number 9, and our number 9 for next season. I don't think we have to go too big in the striker market in the summer. I really don't. Maybe a younger prospect we can go for. Maybe someone who can, you know, impact things more from the bench than, you know, a Joe Peru has. Because I think Calvert-Lewin is just too experienced. You know, you can't have him sat on the bench. You know, he's proved his fitness. His goal scoring is great. Obviously, there's always a risk. You know, he gets injured in the pre-season or first game of the season and he's out. And then, yeah, you know, I can appreciate you'd be struggling a bit then. But yeah, I think he's the main man, and I hope he gets into that England squad. I'm not sure if he will, but it would just cap off what's been a superb season for him. If he doesn't go, that's fine for us. It means he can have a pre-season. Don't forget, he didn't have a pre-season. You know, DCL did not have a pre-season. So for him to have achieved and done what he's done for us this season is absolutely remarkable. So yeah, long may it continue there. Obviously, at the end of the game, players were, you know, did a lap of honour, and, you know, they got a round of applause from all the stadium, which is great to see, richly deserved. Nice to see them all with their families and everything like that. Just got a comment in from Fernie. DCL needs help. He's isolated a lot of times, so need another striker to help him out. Yeah, I mean, that's an interesting point. I mean, I know for initially, you know, there was the Metcher DCL thing, you know, and, you know, there were a couple of games where them two worked together in tandem. I think it's difficult. I think when you're constructing a team, yes, we'd all like, you know, Dominic Calvert-Lewin to maybe have more players around him when he's winning those flick-ons, but it's difficult. You know, the structure of the team as it is. You know, if you put another striker up there with him, how does that impact everything behind them? It's interesting, though. It'd be fascinating. I mean, if we'd have signed Strand Larsen, I mean, it would have been really interesting to see what we would have done and how we would have fit those two together. But thanks for your comment, mate. Appreciate that. Yeah. So anyway, so the players were kind of paraded around, and one picture that's been flying around social media is this one, and it's Illan Melier there, kind of on his own, just kind of his last look around Ellen Road from the pitch before he departs as a free transfer this summer. And got to say, I mean, you feel for him, don't you? Just sat there, and he must be wondering what on earth, you know, has happened to his career, his Leeds United career, and his career in general. I mean, this was a player with such high potential. We've talked about it a lot on the channel. You know, I remember him being linked with European giants for 30, 40, 50 million, you know, a few years ago. And at the end of Premier League season 1, he was, you know, the next big thing in keeping, really, you know, for his age and how many appearances he's clocked up. It's remarkable. But obviously it's not gone well since for Melier. We know all the reasons. I don't think the club helped him in terms of that final Premier League year, and it's a shame. It's a real shame to see it end like that. I think from a human level, you've got to feel for him, and I do wish him the best. I hope he absolutely can get his career back on track, find a new club, fresh start, maybe back in France. But I hope he can get back to that level, hopefully fulfill his potential that we all thought he had. Definitely no ill will from my end. I just hope he can recover and still have a decent career there. AUFC 11, hope the Stack injury, nothing serious, looked bad. Oh, it's nasty, wasn't it? Absolutely nasty. He had the blood-filled sock as well. When it cut into that, it was a real horrible one. We don't really have to worry as kind of Leeds fans for him, but on that personal level, he's close to that Germany squad. And if that impacts him being able to go to the World Cup, that is devastating for him, really devastating for him. In that DCL article on The Athletic, it also makes reference to Anton Stack, and we did convince Stack to join Leeds by saying, look, you perform well here, there's a good chance, the international stage will happen for you. You can get into that Germany squad. So if that gets snatched away from him, it's really devastating. So yeah, hopefully it's not too serious. Leeds medical staff have been incredible this season, though, haven't they? So you wouldn't bet against them getting him back on the pitch. But we'll wait and see. Hopefully he can be fit and firing for the World Cup, because he absolutely deserves that. Cosmo, thanks for your comment, mate. Do you think we may need to sell any of our best players for financial reasons? Yes, I think this is the problem I have. And it's fascinating, because when we looked at it 12 months ago, and we were comparing what Sunderland were able to do versus what Leeds were able to do coming into this Premier League, and Sunderland were able to sell Bellingham, high value asset, 30 million or something, to Dortmund. And you look at Leeds, you go, who can we sell to generate the funds from, cover PSR, SCR, whatever it's going to be called now, going forward? And the problem is our best players are the most sellable assets, obviously. We don't have many youth products. We don't have Archie Gray, from the academy, pure profit, who you can make a lot of money on. We don't have that, unfortunately. So you're looking at the ones you can make the most money from: Stack, Ampadu, Strike, maybe. You're looking at your best players really as being as the ones that we can sell, and that's where I'm kind of struggling with it, because I look at Peru, James, who else have we got that's kind of on the fringes and not really impacted things? Who else have we got? Well, I mean, you've even got Jack Harrison, haven't you? We don't know what's going to happen with Jack. You got Matteo Jose. You've got a lot of these fringe players who, what are we going to do with them? Who's buying them? It's someone like Dan James, for example. I don't think Dan James is good enough to propel us forward. I think he's got a lot of heart, and I think he's a decent player. I don't know if he's good enough to actually propel us forward, but I don't know who's going to come and buy him, because he's got signed a brand new contract 12 months ago. Who's going to come in with the right amount of money for him? I'm not sure. One of the other promoter teams, I don't know, because if your scouting's got anything about you, I wouldn't be looking to Dan James to kind of transform your fortunes if you're a promoter team coming into the Premier League. I don't think another Premier League team would sign him. Championship, again, who's going to pay the money? Abroad, who's paying the money? So it's difficult. You're then looking at, do we have to make a big sale, one of our best players, to be able to fund things? Because we can't stand still. We know we can't stand still with the squad. We've got to get churn. But yeah, that's probably the thing one of the things I'm most anxious about this summer is how are we going to churn some of these fringe players, or the players that we don't really think are good enough. However good servants they've been, which is obviously appreciated, and they seem like really good people. But if we're looking to improve the squad and give ourselves more opportunity, we've got to churn those fringe players and hopefully keep our better players. But I think there'll be one biggie. I think there'll be a big sale in the summer of a favourite. I think that's a realistic possibility. and it might need to happen, unfortunately, and then it all becomes about who you replace them with going forward. That's the game at the minute, isn't it? But thanks for your comment. Interesting debate. Danny, our finishing position could pay transfer fees for 2 players. Yeah, well, this is it. I mean, we're where are we up to now? 14th, sorry, and we could possibly finish 10th, and it's like 3 million a place. So look, it's all money in the pot, isn't it? It helps, absolutely helps. So yeah, we'll wait and see. Michael, given his performances, does Darlow remain number 1, or does the club need to bring in a keeper that comes as a number 1? Yeah, this is an interesting one, because Darlow, I mean, he's not put a foot wrong at all since he kind of came back into the team. He's not put a foot wrong, and in fact, his ball playing, passing out from the back, has improved, unbelievably improved. I never worry about Darlow, kind of in any aspect now. When I'm watching it, I'm not worried about, and to be honest, watching Perry earlier on in the season, watching Melier for the last couple of years, you always had that worry that they're going to flap at something or a mistake's going to happen. I don't have that with Darlow. I really don't have that with Darlow. I mean, that fantastic save he made yesterday, and I know some of the commentators were like, oh, well, he stood in the wrong position and then went back. Well, yeah, so did you see the swerve on the ball? The point is, he saved it. He got himself back and he saved it. So it's a real difficult one. I mean, I hope he stays, and he's a fantastic option if it's not working out with your number 1. I mean, if it hadn't have been for him this season, where would we have been? We bought Perry and it hasn't really worked. We'd have been screwed if Darlow hadn't been up to it. So, real interesting one. He's upped his level a tremendous amount. If he carried on like this, maybe there's an argument that you don't have to worry so much about that goalkeeping replacement. Maybe you keep Perry and see if he can kind of get to his level a little bit, see if he can improve. But yeah, fascinating. I remember with Jason, actually, we went to, I think it was Leeds Shrewsbury or something in the Cup a couple of years ago, and Darlow was playing, and he was awful with his feet, absolutely terrible with his feet. So fair credit to him. He's improved enormously, to the point where actually when you're looking at your shopping list for the summer, I don't necessarily know if a goalkeeper's top of it at the moment. It feels like we should. It feels like we need to get that elite keeper. But, we forked out for Perry last season, 12 months ago. Would the money be better spent elsewhere if Darlow's performing like he is? So, yeah, good debate though. Interested to see what we do. Let's have a look here. Simon, what is quite evident is the lack of left footers in the team, especially the need for a left-footed right winger. Hopefully that will be rectified in the summer. Yeah, do you remember when we used to have loads of left footers as well? So we had like Rafinha, Alioski, Jack Harrison, and now we've kind of got the opposite. So yeah, maybe that's something we'll look to in the summer. I think we're definitely, for me, that position is one I hope that we do. And I think it's definitely a point where you look at the team and you go, right wing, left footer, cutting inside. If you can get one of those exciting talents, if you can get, the Okafor for that side, then you're laughing, aren't you? So I agree. Yeah, I think that's a position that we hopefully will strengthen. There's not been loads and loads spent on this attack over the years. So I think hopefully this is a summer where we can invest it again. I don't know what the position is with SCR going forward. I don't know how much there will be to spend or what we're going to have to do to offset that with sales, because to get talented players in that position, it costs a lot of money. You can go potentially the broken toy route, which is what Okafor was really. And see if you can, get someone you can fix in that position or whatever. So yeah, be interested to see, but that's definitely a position where you're looking at it going, yeah, we need to strengthen there and hopefully get that type of player in. Do all the players out on loan except for Harry Gray be sold? Well, You'd hope so, wouldn't you, really? I mean, I'm just looking through the list. I mean, Jack Harrison, we have to sell this guy now. We have to get Harrison off the books. But again, he's not set the world alight, has he, at Fiorentina? He was poor at Everton. It's difficult. It's really difficult. He signed that contract. I don't know when that's due to expire. It's probably got another year, maybe even 2 years left on it. I'm not sure. So, it's difficult, but hopefully we can move Jack on permanently. It'd be nice to get some transfer fees in, wouldn't it? It'd be nice to get some transfer fees in for these fringe players. I mean, Max Ferber, he's still on the books, isn't he? What we're going to do with Max? Matteo Joseph, obviously he's got a really bad injury at the moment, so I don't know what the time frame with that is or the time scale. But it'd be nice if we could get some of these players out. Ramazani, I think as long as Farke's here, I don't think, Ramazani's really got a future in Farke's team, whether you agree with it or not. I back Farke on that personally. So, if we can maybe make some money on Ramazani, let's do it. There's rumours about Nonto going to Freiburg, and there was even a thing talking about a loan. It's like, that's one thing I don't want to see. Please, can we... No loans. Please, can we just start getting fees for players? Can we please just start getting fees for players? Like actual cash money that we can reinvest. I mean, we all know when we got relegated, they all had these loan release clauses, but you'd hope we're kind of past that a little bit now. But again, the problem is who's out there to buy these players. Who if you're a club and you're looking at Jack Harrison, how much would you be willing to spend on Jack Harrison, really? I mean, it'd be less than, it'd be certainly less than 10 million, maybe 5 million at the most. I mean, I just don't know who's willing to do that. What about Red Bull investment alongside the 49ers investment? Surely Leeds United have money to spend. Yeah, this is a thing. I don't know. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I'm sure we'll get a clearer picture over the summer of how much there is to spend. I certainly don't think it's going to be 30 million here, 40 million there, 30 million here. I don't think it's going to be anything like that. But hopefully we can build on the type of recruitment we did last summer and just improve in that way and wait and see. So we've got one more game left this season. West Ham away next week, and West Ham are all but down now. Disappointing for them against Newcastle, wasn't it? Couple goals down early on. Nuno went with 5 at the back for some reason. Didn't work at all. He's admitted it. So they're done and dusted. And, if Spurs get a point, it is going to be done due to the goal difference. Not sure. I just want us to win that game now and just finish as high as we can and bank more money for ourselves. Just see to ourselves. I mean, I don't know who's fit to play in that game next week. I really don't know who's going to be left to fit. We might even get Sean Longstaff start. I don't know. It feels like the players have put so much into it this season that now that we've actually, stayed up, it feels like all the injuries have caught up with us now, and the players need a good break. It'll be interesting. But I just want us to beat West Ham next week now. I think, look, we'd have loved Spurs to have gone down. It would have been great. And I think, you could argue Spurs are more of a threat going forward. So, it'd be better if they went down. But, I just want us to get as high a finish as possible now. We could even finish 10th, I think, if results go our way. Just get it done again. West Ham have had their chances, haven't they? West Ham have had their chances. Just for the chat as well, would you take who would you take from West Ham? Is there anyone you'd be buying from West Ham for next season if we could pinch someone? Somerville, would we have Somerville back? It'd be interesting. We'll have to see. Is Europe an outside possibility for Leeds? I don't think so. I think it goes as low down as 9th, and the highest we can get is 10th. I could be making that up, but I think that's what it is. No Europe for Leeds. I mean, Europe's a bit of a curse for teams, though, isn't it? Really, especially the Europa and the Conference League. It's sometimes doesn't feel really beneficial, does it, in a way, because it's harder financially, puts more demands on the squad. So yeah, it might be work out perfectly if we just miss out and just keep building up, and hopefully in the future we'll bank some European qualifications if everything kind of goes our way. Just before I kind of shoot off, do want to talk a little bit about Farke's future as well. The press conference last week, me and Jay, we were on Friday, so we had our video out before Farke's press conference, and then that dropped on the Friday afternoon, and it was an eye opener. The quotes dropped, and I was shocked. I was really shocked by how strong and kind of firm he was in what he was saying. It felt like he was laying down a marker, laying down a gauntlet to the club. He was telling them he's ambitious. He's telling them he doesn't just want to survive and struggle. He wants to thrive. And I think as Leeds fans, we appreciate that ambition, definitely. And I think the majority of Leeds fans would agree that, yes, we want the club to do everything they can. It's just interesting positioning, because I'm sure that's what the club want to do anyway. I'm sure that's what Parag and the investors want to do anyway. Now I'm kind of set for another season of struggle next year. I'm kind of mentally preparing myself for another kind of difficult, grindy season. I hope it's, a little bit easier next season. We hope it is, with the teams coming up. But there's never any guarantee. I'm kind of, trying to brace myself for what will be another difficult season. And I would expect the team to do that as well, and including the manager, because it's so hard. It's really, really hard. But we'll have to see with the recruitment what they do over the summer. It's going to be absolutely fascinating. Is there any danger that Farke's going? Do we think are we concerned on that front at all? I don't know. There's an article dropped by Team Talk today saying club back him 100%. And they want to match his ambition, which is great news. He's done a tremendous job as Farke this season, absolutely tremendous. I think he's really smashed through people's expectations of him. I think he was odds-on the favourite to be sacked first this season, if I remember, or top 2 or 3. Michael, his stock has never been so high. I'm pretty sure he was odds-on favourite to be sacked. So to be sat here possibly with 50 points come next weekend and, safe weeks before the end of the season has been a tremendous, tremendous effort. And it's just going to be fascinating to see where Leeds go from here, really. But yeah, we'll be keeping a close eye. Good stuff. Okay, well, we'll wrap it up there. Thank you to everyone who got involved and commented. Really appreciate that. Really interesting stuff coming out of that. If you watch it again later as well, do drop a comment on the video. Please do like the video as well. You can hype videos now as well. So if you could hype as well, that would be brilliant. And please do subscribe to the channel. Like I say, we're a bit higgledy-piggledy at the minute. I'm going to try and get on Friday morning, hopefully. If possible, we might even be able to get something from Jay as well, depending on how many cocktails he's had. We'll wait and see. But yeah, we'll be back in some way, shape or form. And then me and Mr. Booker will be here throughout the summer, giving our thoughts on everything Leeds United in what should be an exciting period for Leeds. So yeah, thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.